In this video, we will learn about how to configure Twitter authentication for our applications. For this purpose, we need a user model, which we created in the previous videos. If you go to the first video in this series, the Google authentication video, you can get details about how we created this users model. But basically, the users model is used to store user authentication data. So in order to configure the Twitter, we need to go to the application settings, and under application settings, we need to go to the authentication part. Authentication part, the user data model, this is the users model selected. Redirect URLs, we've got the success and error URLs. These are the URLs where your front-end application will be redirected in case of successful and unsuccessful authentication. So as you might remember from the previous videos, we are creating a simple web flow application with 3 pages. The home page where we list all the authentication providers, and whenever the user clicks on them, they are directed to the respective authentication flow. And in case the user successfully logs in, we've got a success page, and in case if there's an error during sign up or login, then we've got the error page. And the URL for these pages are basically these ones. So basically we copied and pasted those values to here. As usual, we are creating the session token whenever the user successfully authenticates using the given this authentication provider. We already configured the Google and Facebook. This time we will be configuring Twitter. Okay, let's turn this on. As usual, we need to provide the consumer key and consumer secret. In order to get these values, we need to go to the Twitter developer platform. So you need to have an account in the Twitter developer platform. I go to the developer portal. The first thing that I need to do is I need to create a project. Okay, let's give it a name, my test project. Sorry. Next, use case. This is like hobby, anything you want. Test. Okay. Done for application settings. Let's say my OAuth testing app. Next. API key, API secret. These are the values that we don't care right now. We need to go to the app settings. Okay, we need to go to the authentication settings, and we need to edit this one. We need to enable the 3-legged OAuth flow, and the callback URL. The first thing that we need to put here, as usual in the previous Facebook and the Google cases, we need to copy this callback URL, copy this one, and paste it to here. Website URL. Our website is basically this one for testing purposes. This is our website, so let's get the URL for this one. It's also asking for about terms of service. No, we don't. Do we need this one right now? No. Let's see. Anything else? Permissions. This is read only. Yes. What else? Authentication settings. Yes. Request email address. Okay, we need to enable this thing. If you would like to get email address, in that case we need to put the authentication, so terms of service and privacy. For now I'm using the Autogic terms of service and privacy policies. I save these ones. The configuration for the application is complete. We need to get the secret and the token. If we go to the keys and tokens, consumer keys, API key and secret, let's click on regenerate. Yes, regenerate. So we need to copy this one, API key. This is the key. And we also need to get the secret, and this is the secret. Let's save this thing. I think we are done with configuring Twitter. Yes, I saved them. Let me sign out from Twitter. Okay, and if I go back to the Autogic, this is the URL that my front end needs to direct users for Twitter authentication. So let me copy this thing. Let me go back to here to home, and if I go back here, I need to configure the link of this one. This is here. Okay, let's publish this thing. Let's wait for Webflow to complete the publishing. Okay, it completed the publish. So let's go to the page. Okay, we need to try this one. Let's log in with Twitter. Okay, it's working right now. Authorize app. Yes, authorize app. It's authorizing the app. Exactly. So it's successful authorized the application. So as you can see, I get the information about the user, my Twitter account, some information. And also, since we selected the create session token, session information, Authentication also automatically created the session and provided in the response. As usual, the response is provided in the success URL in the query string parameter response. This is a stringified version of this thing. This is a JSON object, and this is the stringified version of this JSON object. So you can access that information from the response query string parameters. If you go back to Authentication and if you go back to test panel, maybe here, from the previous exercises, we already had these two Google and the Facebook examples. Let's refresh this thing. We should have the Twitter, as you can see. The third user, the third profile has also been created in the database with the correct profile information. Okay, so that's it for Twitter authentication. We will continue with the remaining authentication providers in succeeding videos. Thanks a lot for watching.